Oh, hi. Anyways, let me take off my glasses. And I just got back from a private advanced screening. Oh, let me get the notes on that. Basically, from a special advanced screening of quote-unquote Alone, the final episode of the assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story. Pardon me, I have to put in my dentures, I can't speak. American Crime Story, and it was this evening. In a couple of days, on Saturday at the Dolby, right now it's the 19th, but at the Dolby, Oprah Winfrey is going to be speaking on weight. So my producer friend has been following her in the last, several months, and so she's going to be in a private VIP type of thing. So it's kind of interesting. And the Dolby Theater is just the place in Los Angeles, So special guest panelist to the screening tonight was Ricky Martin and Judith Light. Now a screening is where we go in with producers and writers and directors and we watch a film. There's question and answer with the panelists, the director, the producer, and everybody. I think Ryan Murphy was there. This is a Ryan Murphy movie, so that's really huge, Anything having to do with Television Academy National active members and anything there is going to be really huge on Sunset Boulevard. So the line was an hour worth, and it was down into, that facility at the DGA Theater on Sunset to host Television Academy National active member events is a very large property, basically takes up the whole block. And so I haven't even drank water yet, so if you could bear with me. Before I do my water, this is kind of like what I do for health. It's important to drink important water. Now, copper is really important. I keep my water in a copper thing overnight, but this is rose water. I add rose water to the water, and then the apple cider vinegar and the rose water is amazing with the copper water. Just a little touch of that, right like that. And now that's what's in my rose colored glass pitcher right over there where my finger is. Right there, you see it? So if you don't mind me drinking this as we proceed with some notes that I took. I thought about all of you through the entire evening when I wasn't thinking about myself or why we were there. People were looking at me and talking to me. Not everyone, okay, come on. But this is the outfit, basically. And these are the black patent leather shoes. That got a lot of attention, but this is basically it. The look, the body. Okay, so I meant to take this off because it's getting really warm. I left the beret on, and that was an amazing hit. Now, I was going to take a picture, a snapshot with Ricky Martin and Judith Light, because I've done that with Rob Lowe and the mayor of Beverly Hills and some other celebrities, governors and Congress people. But I didn't do that because I was a guest of my producer, and he looked adorable, and I didn't want to really upstage that and drag him everywhere. So there was even a dinner afterwards, but because he has such a full load during the week as a producer, he wasn't able to stay through the remainder of the refreshments and the reception. So there was no really commingling directly with our panelists, but there was question and answer from audience to, who was on the panel. So I want to let men know that this segment regarding celebrity and beginning to do the work of a man, which is the work of the soul, is really inspired by your friends, okay, whether they are working in the entertainment industry or not. Bunch of young, muscular guys, huge gay crowd tonight, and I wanted to stay longer, but it was a very heavy evening for a lot of people. Now, Versace was a famous fashion clothing designer, And he also got into furniture and, of course, a lot of people. Now, when he was working in the opera house, long story about the nature of his assignment, but there was a fellow that came in, which is the name Andrew Cucanon, and this young guy was fab, gorge, what have you, all the muscles in all the right places, right? And he had the charm, and he said to Gianni, all one's life is one entire reality of feeling special, and when somebody has an event like tonight, or even the event of talking to Gianni Versace on stage, such as Andrew did, you want to tell that person, this is part of my sweet destiny, and I'm looking for a place. Please, let's work together. People are getting ahead thinking that they're not going to meet the same people in their path and in their journey, but they will in the next life. Okay, not a lot of people would tell you that, but that's kind of my words of prophecy. So you want to know that in the human kindness society, correct, and the human condition and globalization and technology and film, there is interconnecting that we're doing that we should not put down in any way because technology has some perks and some negatives. But looking at the perks, we take a famous man like this because Andrew was rejected by Gianni Versace. Andrew had murdered Versace in real life. Now this is happening in a very dark place, and it's where the soul is daring because the soul has been declared lost by being rejected. And some people don't understand that, and they think there's just a bunch of mind games being played over them, when in actuality it may be contrary. The game shame, because people play mind games. The game shame. Dentures. The gay shame, or the gay game shame. The shame of gay games, and tossing one another around, and drugs, and converting men, and being missionaries to married men, creates a never-ending tension that will never let up. And when you institute anger and rage, and you put a gun in somebody's hand, gay or straight, because they've been rejected, it's so easy to point the finger at those people and call them monsters, but when we do that, we exonerate our own selves. We are reflecting to our own self, and that is rising us above. And we, self, are the monsters in the society, living in a delusional world where we think we don't supposed to see monsters, so we shame them, the gay people, and they come out, what? Angry because of gay militant activism and social justice prevalence and democracy promotion without force. Living in a delusional world and becoming our own enemy through judging others that have been rejected and have a specific behavior that is none of our business puts us in being our own victim to our ignorance. Thinking that we are in the shoes of the DA or the forensic psychologist or what have you, or the criminal justice professional, law enforcement, and thinking that in people's lives you have a good motivation to be separating and rejecting people because you know what rejection dentures because you know what rejection feels like in a gay community or a straight community. How far has gay community come? Well, very far. According to Judith Light and Ricky Martin, furthering that, indicating we have to be loud when we talk about loving another person. In this case, same gender. We can progress more quickly, however, if we see our own insecurities and loving other people's insecurity. But when one is aggravated and you're not getting the love that you're needing to have, one can become less self-confident. However, give speculation to this, that we are the most insecure people in the world as the world may see us. And repeating our lessons and mistakes makes us all eventually become self-confident. We spend a whole life thinking that we need to impress others, hoping to get people to treat us special, so that through that inclusion and no longer being separatists and rejected, we can be ourselves because we have proved ourselves. And we do not need to impress the person that just gave us the love, because now the ice has been broken and people know your soul. Now, an issue with gay culture is that a lot of men are tossing men around because they think that there is something better on the other side of the fence. Well, you know, you're standing on your own lawn. Why don't you water your own lawn, really? And everybody thinks there's something better around the corner. So in creating reverse order for ourselves and seeing self and knowing the behavior and thinking that other men have modeled that we are doing, how is that separating us from a functioning society? Not a gay society, okay, that we're trying to gain approval from, but also a large society of functioning in technology. How are you bringing yourself to that and able to get people to treat you special so you're not rejected? Start a work. I don't know what that work may be, but start a work as we are starting Social Alchemy Project. How do you gain more of life? This is the quest for many humans because they have emotional hearts in the American crime stories. And the complexity behind deprivation among gay crime stories specifically are teaching opportunities for you on how you can accept and to deal with betrayal and your abandoned mind. Understand, okay, the depth of sorrows are linked to our narcissism. This is how you can keep expectations low, keep standards high, and practice a lot of gratitude. And understand that people may fail you. And some people may not fail you because there's good people out there and there's people, of course, that you can trust. Everyone needs to be on their toes. That's wrong. If you are not on your toes and you are not at your best, it does not mean that you need to start putting down models that have more than you, that act like they are above people and the neediness of other men like yourself to show other men that you need other men. In all seriousness, if you're not on your toes, okay, don't allow self to go deeper in desperate wantings for something that never comes. Because in the depth of sorrows and going deeper and having the loss of psychological masculinity, men, you know how to what? Tell the truth because you see it in self. Life is messy, and that's something we can accept and not gravel over and become violent and angry because we lose control. Understanding you can accept the angry monster in yourself and then sensual needs for love no matter homophobia in culture, that still exists. Now, Judith Light said that, and we need, as of her words this evening, to be open and available and to grab onto the lifting that the entertainment industry gives you, as long as our celebrities are creating a team of other producers and other co-authors of a great story. Incredible times. By your defensiveness and coping, and knowing that violence is a based emotion, it's so easy to get to. It's nothing special. I mean, it's special, yes, of course, because it's happening to you, and it can get you in a lot of trouble if you're not careful. But defensiveness and coping, and then being led into violence as a based emotion, is the easy way out, like committing suicide. Because all we have is angry sex. Nobody knows that last thought of Gianni Versace when he was murdered by Andrew Buchanan in the front of our late fashion designer Versace in the fantastic neighborhood, Dentures, in Miami Beach. One of the largest mansions is Versace's, and that's where he got shot. The turn and that last thought when he turned around and saw his killer, and when Andrew looked into the eyes of his victim, we don't know that escape, but that bond to that other person, and the bondage, the need to have rage outside of the bedroom, dentures, and not only angry sex in the bedroom. There is no escape. There's accountability because of what? The love of law and the legal system. Your vices, your entitlements, dentures, privileges, lead to sadness if all you want is to complete your life with luxury and finding your own Versace when maybe it's not in the cards. Landing on sadness to see your life as a sorrowful one means you don't need to flatter yourself. Talk up to yourself. Speak to yourself as where it is. Don't speak down or speak up. Speak to where it is. And you'll find that you fluctuate, and then you'll experience the honest and less fake moments that aren't about flattering yourself. Tonight was, an opportunity where I got a lot of attention over maybe somebody else. My producer friend had friends, however, that were connecting with him, but everybody was so flattery, and it was genuine. It was like in passing. But when I'm talking about a lot of flattery that is fake and deceitful and manipulative and insincere, you can place that probably in some of your relationships as you've been growing up as a man to no longer be a boy because of the darkness that you have endured in your life. So, you come to Social Alchemy Project Access Management Company, what have you. We have production, we have writing, we have my lecturing, my shock rock YouTube videos, we have ministry, university work, lectures, nudity, slideshow presentations of my work. So as a role model or a leader, not that I'm claiming that, other people have claimed that. I want to claim I'm the next Harvey Milk. I will die for what we're talking about. I am only taking a lease on life. I am here temporarily, and I'm renting my own body, right? There's no need to cease and desist. Things that are too similar to your Under Armour mind, thinking you have to make a trademark and become famous, so you become so angry as a bachelor because you know you're a catch. You know you're upscale, that you feel you have to kill famous people. This is not indicative of celebrities impacting your work at Social Alchemy Project. The only way it will be a direct cultural impact is that we acknowledge how crippling the gay shame is, right? But tonight was a time to be inspired by celebrity and what, above all else? Do the work of the soul. Begin the work as a man. I want to thank you for getting through this discussion, talk, lecture. And ladies and gentlemen, from drugs to money to greed to workaholic to not knowing how to take a vacation because you don't have a lover or a family, one thing that you can rest assured is that we are all artists, and you can turn to a social alchemy project access management to access your own self-management and self-governance and being your own alchemist to beget the social justice and the democracy promotion, the politics in your fashion and in your art and in your self-expression, where you understand how you can remove yourself from your own hate by acknowledging the work of the soul. At our university, at the New World Christ Church, everything that I'm trying to use to lift you up in the depth of your sorrow. I love you, and I would die for you. God bless you. Stay an artist. And go somewhere that will make you feel like a creator of your mess and your soul's work.